Hi, my name is Professor Dr. Devaruti Haldar, and in this session, I am going to discuss about intermediary liability with special reference to the universities at the body corporates as well as the intermediary. That means today we are going to discuss about the liability of the universities. First, let us understand who is an intermediary. Often, we tend to confuse the term intermediary with terms like website, internet service provider, and internet. All three of them denote different meanings, but the concept is overlapping with each other. Indian Information Technology Act 2000, amended in 2008, defines intermediary, especially in respect to electronic records and data, in section 2W. The definition runs as follows: any person who, on behalf of another person, receives, stores, or transmits that record, or provides any service with respect to that record, and includes telecom service providers, network service providers, internet service providers, web hosting service providers, search engines, online payment sites, online auction sites, online marketplaces, and cyber cafes. As we understand, an intermediary who may be providing some services, etc., especially related to internet, let us now understand whether intermediary is a natural person or a juristic person. Interestingly, the word any person has got different meanings in this section, that is section 212. Sorry, section 2W. When it says any person who, on behalf of another person, receives, stores, or transmits that record, or provides any service with respect to that record. It may mean a natural person, that means a human being, especially adult human beings who may be capable to take rational decisions, enter into contracts, etc. Please note, I am using the term may mean. May mean. Again, when the section says it will include telecom service providers, network service providers, internet service providers, web hosting service providers, search engines, online payment sites, online auction sites, online marketplaces, and cyber cafes, etc., it may mean juristic person who has legal personality and who may be represented by its human representatives like the CEOs or the nodal officers, which means intermediary may be juristic persons also, but there are some shadow of natural personality is also there. What are the functions of intermediary? Let's now look into certain international documents. In its preamble, in para 4, in recommendation of the Committee of Ministers to Member States on the roles and responsibilities of the Internet intermediaries, the Committee of Ministers, Council of Europe, has shared some functions of such intermediaries, which are as follows. Internet intermediaries facilitate interactions on the Internet between natural and legal persons by offering and performing a variety of functions and services. Some connect users to the Internet, enable the processing of information and data, or host web-based services, including for user-generated content. Naturally, we may understand this as search engines, web domains, websites, etc. Further, the functions also include, as we can see in their language, aggregate information and enable searches. They give access to host, index content and services designed and or operated by third parties. So here also we are getting to see web hosts, websites, etc. that can be considered as the intermediaries as has been indicated here. Again, we do get to see about other kind of function which says facilitate the sale of goods and services including audio visual services and enable other commercial transactions including payments. This necessarily includes payment gates, banking services, that is e-banking services, e-commerce sites, etc. Now let us understand how the intermediaries may leak the data. As we have just seen, intermediary as per the Indian understanding says any person who on behalf does anything as has been indicated in section 2W, and thereby I have stated that that intermediary or that data manager or that data protection officer who is appointed under the Digital Personal Data Act, especially by the data fiduciary, etc., may be a natural person and may be included within the very broad meaning of intermediary also. Now, let me explain how this intermediary, that is the natural person, may be responsible for leaking of the data. If we get to see any person who is connected with the intermediary leaks the data, two understandings may come to us. One, this is about the method, that is, this person who may be data manager or who may be connected with the intermediary as the data protection officer, or who may be somebody who is a nodal officer for collecting, processing, etc. of the data and who knows about the data storehouse, etc. He may intentionally violate the obligations and confidentiality and share the security password for the data to third party without consent of the body corporate or the data fiduciary who may have collected the personal data for specific purposes. Next, he may negligently pass over the security information to third party to allow the confidentiality of the data to be breached. We have seen the second one often happening through banks. Here, the banks may come up with defense that it is actually the customers or the subscribers who have done this, but there can be some kind of leakage, there can be some kind of vacuum in the cybersecurity system that may have happened due to human negligence also. This is the reason I am highlighting the responsibility of the data manager, intermediary, data protection officer, etc. Now, in such cases, who can be held primarily responsible? In both these cases, the primary responsibility of data breach may fall upon the body corporate, that means the entity who collects the data and also who is responsible for the safekeep of the data. That has been explained under section 43A of the Information Technology Act. He is responsible, or that body corporate would be responsible for the data of the data principals who can be the civilians because the data is under his custody. But then such individual who had been responsible for such leakage may also be held responsible under numbers of legal provisions. These may necessarily include Section 72A of the Information Technology Act, which prescribes punishment for disclosure of information in breach of lawful contract. Again, this bag of penal provision against such intermediary, including the data manager, data protection officer, or the nodal officer who is responsible for the upkeeping of the data, security of the data, etc., may also include Section 43, read with Section 66 of the Information Technology Act, which prescribes punishment for computer-related offences. And here the punishment may be 3 years of imprisonment maximum with fine. Now comes a very important discussion. Are the universities also considered as intermediaries and also the body corporates? Are they responsible for data leakage? Answer is yes. Interestingly, we have seen ransomware attack on the hospitals. Nowadays, we are also anticipating ransomware attacks, hacking attacks, etc. on the educational institutes also, because universities are also intermediaries and body corporates who collect personal data, including the sensitive personal data of the teaching and non-teaching staff and of the students. The personal data of all these above mentioned persons or stakeholders are connected with their family members. Hence, it may be easy for the possible perpetrators to fish out or cull out sensitive personal data of the university employees, students, as well as of their family members. University, as a body corporate, also hold information about their own examination, public examinations, and data related to foreign university collaborations, including foreign trade collaborations. As such, they are also responsible as body corporates, and the officers who are appointed as data managers or data protection officers or data officers for that university may also be personally liable, as we have just mentioned in the other slides. As a matter of fact, if the data is leaked from the university database or the university is attacked by ransomware attacks, all stakeholders connected with universities may be affected, and women especially will be vulnerable targets. Therefore, all universities, all university officials, and university appointed third party data managers, etc., need to be very, very careful about the security of the data. Thank you.